Hey, it's Marina, travel experta, and today we're going to be talking about comedores in Guatemala, the local eateries. Are you guys ready for an adventure? Let's begin. Comedores. This was the place that I lived in when I first arrived to Guatemala. They are these tiny, little, adorable eateries that are pretty much sprinkled all over Guatemala. The thing is, when you look at them as you get older, and you become a little bit more weary of, getting parasites or amoebas because these are really kind of the types of places because they look dirty. They're not the most well kept as well, as far as when you're looking at other restaurants. But you need to try a comedor. You need to go to one of them and just risk it because the experience of the food is truly amazing. First and foremost, it is dirt cheap. So comedores are really well known for their breakfast. It's called desayunos típicos, and they're pretty much served all day long because it's actually the most staple food of Guatemala: eggs, beans, plantains, rice, and tortillas. And you can literally get in the comedores and you can see them, making the tortillas right in front of you for less than $3 or $4. And that usually comes with a coffee and even a drink. And their drinks, like one of their juices, a refresco, which could be, or it could be like a lemonade or a naranjada. Naranjadas are very popular here. Naranjadas are orange juice, fresh orange juice with either water or soda. So you could get one of those, and it's usually included in the meal. So we're talking between $3 to $5. And it's really amazing. Again, you can find them sprinkled everywhere. And, it's these typical, and usually they're always run by the typical women. A lot of the times they are the indigenous women. They're dressed in their aprons. It's usually a cluster of them around the tortilla place, making the fresh tortillas for you and the fresh breakfast. So it's an amazing experience, and I definitely recommend it. Now, they don't only serve obviously those staple foods; they do also have a variety of meats. They could have more egg dishes, stuff like that. This isn't really the place that you would go for the typical Guatemalan cuisine. By the way, I have an entire podcast about that. Those are a little bit more complicated and they're more of a different flavor. They're not in these basic comedores. However, you can find some other Guatemalan typical foods, and it's usually catered to the Guatemalan lower wage worker. So that makes it that much more appealing because you get to really taste what they eat on a daily basis. And a lot of these people, they can't afford very expensive meals. So that's where the prices are. It keeps the price really low, and it's a huge, hearty meal. So honestly, do yourself a favor and go to at least one of these comedores. The most popular ones are usually in the central markets. They have a whole humongous place, and you will see 90% of the people there are Guatemalans eating at these comedores, right? And the comedores, they're just little stands. Sometimes it could be like a little restaurant stand separate as well. Anyways, this is my really huge recommendation for you guys, especially if you want to be, if you call yourself foodies, this is where you should be tasting your food because this is the essence of Guatemala. If you guys have any more questions about Guatemala and eating or whatever, I have been living here as an expat for over 13 years, so I could really help you guys and so much more. And if you have any other questions or whatnot, you could go to travelexperta.com, travel expert with an A.com. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave me a review and share it with your friends. And remember to make every day an adventure.